This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the 2016 LD Micro Invitational in Bel Air, California. With me right now is Tom Steipp from Liquidmetal Technologies. It's a public company. The symbol is LQMT. Tom, welcome back to SNNLive.
Good to be here, Robert.
It's great to have you back. So for our audience that may not have seen our first interview, let's get an overview of the company first, and then we'll go from there.
At a very high level, Liquidmetal Technology is a new material science, and we are in the business of enabling engineers to do things that they really were never able to do before. Technology came out of Caltech about 20 years ago. The company went public in 2002. In 2010, we changed the paradigm a little bit, focused on a new technology, and since then, we've been solidifying the technology, bringing partners into place. Once that was there, bringing marketing and sales to bear, focusing on applications where the material technologies would add value. And most recently, we signed a cross-licensing agreement with a very significant Chinese company, which allowed us to bring $65 million of cash into the company, cross-licensing our technology with Tech, with a Chinese company, which allows us to provide a broader set of solutions across a larger size footprint as well as price points.
Actually, that's where I was going with my next question, and so it has been I think maybe a little over a year since we last did our last interview. So let's get an update. Maybe expand upon what you just said with the $65 million investment, and maybe some other things that are going on in the company.
Yeah, I think what your investors would be interested in is, from a progress standpoint, where are we? From a revenue standpoint, there's not as much movement. Last year we did $126,000 worth of revenue. In first quarter this year we did $160,000. That's not significant, but what is significant is the number of orders that we received last year, which was 9, some for prototype parts and some for production parts. Our goal over the course of this year will be to measure new parts. And we publicly said somewhere in the neighborhood, given the funnel we have, 10 to 15 new parts. And then as we move into 2017, we'll see the revenue ramp from those.
So just as a reminder for our audience, what are the parts that you are exactly selling, and who's your customer base?
Yeah, that's a great question, because our highest value is in applications where people are able to do things that they weren't able to do before with either machined parts or metal injection molding as an example. The most interest we have today is in medical. So if you look at large medical application where precision is important, where strength is important, so we are down in the neighborhood of 3 to 4 10,000ths repeatability in 3 dimensions. We have strength that's 2.5 times stronger than titanium for a given cross-section, and we are more corrosion resistant than 316 stainless steel. So those applications in medical and automotive are where we're seeing the most traction.
So what would you say that your products are potentially replacing out there?
So our products are generally not replacing things. What they are doing is enabling people to extend the capabilities. So if an engineer were to design a part that had those material properties that I just told you, they'd probably get fired because the implementation cost is too high. This allows people to broaden the capabilities into areas that were fantasies before. Now they're realities.
And what's the competitive landscape like? Who are you competing with out there?
So we're really not competing against anyone. What we found is that there was a company in China that was deploying their technology in China. As they tried to get into the US, they kept running into Liquidmetal. So we've now put those together. We are on the fringes of high precision machining, metal injection molding. So where our sweet spot is finding where they're struggling with MIM parts, or the cost of machine parts is too high, then we can provide the same capabilities, maybe greater capabilities at a lower cost.
And does the company have like an IP portfolio that's protecting some of what
That's a great question, because you want to do that. We have 120 patents in force right now. We have over the years put in place 126. Some of those in the material property space have expired, but we have a very strong capability which allows us to not only grow the manufacturing capability, but also allows us to put contract manufacturers and licensees in place in ways that complement what we do.
So the company just came out with its Q1 financials for 2016. So what were some of the highlights from that?
So the highlights for that were the fact that we had more revenue in the first quarter than we had last year, but most significantly is the deployment and the acquisition of new parts. We measure that every quarter. As I said, for the year, we're looking at 10 to 15 on that order. What's most important is to take opportunities where we've been selling for the last 15 months or so, start getting them to come in and do prototypes and then move into production.
And, for our audience, what are some of the growth drivers for the business? And, from what you can tell me, milestones and catalysts that you see, going forward for maybe the rest of the year going into 2017.
So the growth drivers are when you get into medical applications, they are highly leverageable into other medical applications. They tend to be applications which have 4 to 5 to 10-year life cycles. The focus is on technological capability, not just gross margin and cost. So as we deploy into the medical space, we see a lot of parts that run $1 to $5 million per year, where they were not able to deploy those using other technologies successfully, and we believe we have a solution that'll fit that.
So where can our audience go and find more information about the company?
So come to liquidmetal.com or just Google, and we'll make sure you get the information back.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the 2016 LD Micro Invitational in Bel Air, California. With me again has been Tom Steipp from Liquidmetal Technologies, publicly traded company. The symbol is LQMT. Tom, thank you so much.
Good to see you, Robert.
Great to
Take care.